I just opened this deal for $1,000 using my Trendline breakout strategy. If the price is going to be higher than at the time I entered this deal, I will get $920 profit. I think you all know that the trend trading is actually the simplest and most profitable type of trading. And in this video, I will tell you my secrets of trend trading. Hello fellow traders, in this video I will teach you how to trade on binary options using Trendline in a rising and falling market. And to begin with, we will figure out what a trend line is, how to draw a trend line correctly, and of course how to use it in your favor. And at the end of this video, I will show you my strategies for trading, continuation, and breakout patterns. Let's get started. So what is a trend line? First, let's look at the trend itself, and here you can clearly see an upward trend. You can understand that by looking at maximum price value points. They are constantly updated. So here you can see higher high, another one, so on and so forth. And same goes to the lowest points, higher low, another one, and another one. And that means that the trend line is actually the level that is formed on the chart, and it shows the price direction. We use it to predict the further movement of our chart. And when the price comes to the trend line, there are two patterns of further movement. For the most part, you can see the continuation pattern. It's when the price reaches the trend line and bounces up, forming new higher high and higher low. Here you can see the same thing. It comes to the trend line and bounces up. Here we can see the same story. But it is really important to understand that there's a second pattern. It's called the breakout pattern. It's when the price comes to the trend line, but instead of bouncing up, it bounces down, creating a downward trend. Easy, right? It is really important to understand that in order to determine the breakout, it is not enough to look at the fact that the price broke through the trend line, because if you can look at the beginning of the chart, you can see that the price broke the trend line but continued with continuation pattern. To determine whether the next movement will be the next rebound continuation pattern or a breakout, we need to use additional technical analysis tools and indicators, which we will talk about further in this video. We just figured out what a trend line is, right? Now let's see how to correctly apply the trend line to our chart. First, of course, you need to open the pocket option, for example, and let's look at the chart that we have right now. Here you can clearly see an upward trend because higher highs and lower lows are constantly updated. Upward trend, meaning, right? And now you can choose the window withdrawing and choose the trend line. Since it's an upward trend, we put the trend line under the chart and adjust the line so that it touches as many candlesticks as possible. This is approximately somewhere right here. It's going to be good for this chart specifically. As you can see, in some places the chart goes under the line, and this is absolutely normal because the trend line as well as the support and resistance lines should not be seen as a clear line. It's more like a zone, the price zone beyond which we expect the next price movement. And this is how we draw the trend line on the upward trend. Now let's look at the example of a downward trend. Here we clearly see the downward trend, and you can understand that by looking at the low points. They're constantly updated, lower high again and again, and lower low again and again and again, downward trend. So in order for us to place the trend line here, in this case, because this is a downward trend, we place it above the price chart. And we also connect the main points in order thus to get the biggest amount of touching with the candlesticks. And sometimes you can see that you can put it a bit lower in order to get more touches. And I also use the white color and 3 pixels just for it to be more visible for us. Let's see how we are going to trade using the trend line. Here we see that the price is constantly going up according to the trend line that we have here. And of course, the maximum points are being updated, but this one has not been updated. And still, you can see, looking at the chart, the price is still going up. Now we have to wait until the price drops to the trend line level and then make a decision. Either we gonna go into the trade on the increase, thinking about the continuation pattern, or vice versa, thinking about the breakout. So if you look at the price, it's gradually falling down, and now it is at the point where it touches the trend line. So how do we understand what is a wait for us? At this moment, we cannot open the deal, not for increase or a decrease. We need additional confirmations. In order to determine the further price movement, I prefer to draw another trend line, which is going to show us in which direction the price is moving, down or up. So this is the current direction of the cost reduction. Here we see that we have formed an additional trend line, and we have to wait what the next candlestick will do and the candlestick after it. It's either gonna go according to the new trend, or the next candlestick is gonna cross this new trend line, and then we will see the bounce up of the price. Let's see what's gonna happen here. So the first one actually crossed the new trend line, and the next one is actually breaking out of the new trend line, and it's still higher than the first trend line that we had. But in this case, I still recommend you to wait for one more candlestick to have more confirmation. So you can see clearly here the confirmation that the trend is bouncing up again. And after this, we can be sure that the trend is going to go up, and only after this we can go into the trading for 3 minutes, for example. If you look at the trend further, you can see that we were right and the price is going up. But remember that the moment where the price touched the trend line, we cannot open the deal at this point. We need additional confirmation for that. Another example, the price is moving up. We found our trend line level from which there is a constant rebound of the price and the continuation of upward movement. Now we see that the price has reached the trend line level and made its first touch. Let's draw a mini trend line here, like this, like so. Change the color to white just to see it clearer. And now we are waiting for the price to break through this trend line, thereby giving us the confirmation that there will be a continuation pattern and the price will continue to grow further. Looking at this candlestick, it is higher than the trend line, but it's still weak. And I would not recommend you to open a deal from this candlestick. In this case, I prefer to wait for another candlestick that will clearly show me the crossing the trend line. And here you can clearly see the next candlestick that goes along the trend line, the main trend line. Therefore, at this moment, we'll open a deal for an increase, also for 3 minutes, and see what happens. The price shoots up and continues its movement up, and the price maximum are updated here. Let's look at another example. In this case, we see a downward trend, and the price level reaching which the price bounces and continues its downward movement. Now we have to wait until the price crosses the line of our trend line. And at this point, we see the price crossing it. As you already know, we can't open a deal just yet because we need additional confirmation. So let's just do another trend line, mini one, a small one. It's really sharp in this case. Let's change the color, of course. And now we are waiting to see what's going to happen next. So here the price is coming back on the trend level, but we still don't have a enough confirmation just yet. So let's wait for a little more. And this candlestick is already breaking through our mini trend line, confirming us that we can expect the price to continue moving down. And at this moment, we'll open a deal for a downward trend for 3 minutes and wait for the results. And results are that we see the price is continuing its downward movement, updating the lower lows. Stochastic escalator indicator can also be an excellent assistant when trading on the trend line. But since we have already analyzed this indicator in my free course, we will not dwell on it now, and I will just show you how to apply it in this particular strategy. And by the way, if you want to get this free course on binary options for beginners, just text me on Telegram, link to which I will leave in the description box under this video as usual, and you will get your free course with supervisor support completely for free. But let's move on with this video and let's talk about the indicator in this strategy. So this indicator allows us to see when the price is in oversold zone. This is the moment when these lines are actually higher than 80 mark, and we should see the intersection of the orange line and the blue line in the downward direction. So we see chart moving downwards and updating lower low and lower high, and at this point we expect a potential rebound from trend line and prices reverse down. So right now we are basically getting the first confirmation by drawing our new trend line. Like so, and as usual we're gonna make it white, and now let's wait for what's gonna happen. So as you see, the next candlestick crosses the mini trend line, giving us the first confirmation that we expect the reversal trend. But more importantly, the stochastic escalator actually shows the intersection of the lines and the direction of movement down. And we basically have already several confirmation, and we can open our deal for a decrease for 3 minutes. And you see that the price is going down. Similarly, we can use stochastic escalator when working with an uptrend. We see our trend line, then we see the touch point with our trend line, and potentially expect the price to move up. For this, we have to draw our mini trend line as usual, like so, like this, and as usual white color, and now we are expecting further movement of the price. We see an intersection with the trend line, but also we don't see a confident intersection, not with stochastic, not with the trend line. We continue to wait, and now we see a clear breakout of our mini trend line, and we see that stochastic reverses the direction and rushes up. At this point, we can open a deal for an increase for 3 minutes as usual, and let's see what happens with the price. We see its gradual growth. Now let's analyze the breakout pattern. As you can see on this chart, the price bounced off the trend line, and at this point we see another intersection of the line. So what should we pay attention to here? This chart has constantly updated higher highs except for this place. Here we don't see any updated higher highs. That means that this level is lower than the previous high. So that is the first confirmation that the breakout is waiting for us. Let's draw our little trend line again, as usually, and let's wait for the intersection of these lines in future. And as you can see, the next two candlesticks continue to move along the line of this new trend. So that's a good sign. And this is the second confirmation that we will see a breakout in future. And the third confirmation is going to be a stochastic, which is below the overbought level and tends to the oversold level. So that means in this zone, we can open a deal for a decrease for 3 minutes as usual. Now let's analyze the breakout on the downward trend. As you can see here, we have formed a trend line, and at the moment the price is completing its contact with the line. So what we see is the stochastic doesn't cross the oversold line. And for us, in this case, this is the first signal that we should expect a breakout. Then we drew our mini trend line and look at the further price movement. So here we see that the price is going along the line of the trend line, the new one. Stochastic still stays at the same not oversold zone, and that gives us the opportunity to open the deal for an increase for 3 minutes. So let's see what's going to happen here. And you see that the price starts to rise, breaks out our trend. So friends, in this video I have analyzed some super effective trend line trading strategies, and you can actually start applying them in your trading experience right now. So if this video turned out to be useful for you, please leave a thumbs up for this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to learn more. And additionally, if you are a beginner, I highly recommend you to watch this video, in which I gave you my step-by-step guide on how to start working on binary options. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!